What's going on, everybody? That's from last weekend. The Philly break on the 8-pill belt and the 16-pill class. I just kind of do what I do. We'll look at this stuff here in a bit. What's happening? What's happening? Mr. Potato Head, that's what he calls himself. Well, here you go, buddy. I normally don't call people out on videos, but this is actually your amplifier. Start in a minute.
Torching hands, steady as truth. 28 G's like a surgeon, tight, clean, no loose juice. Forget that fluff from Johnny up the street. If you want true watts, Bird has certified, not cheap. Linear amps built like tanks, precision tune. He craft them like art, man, no peak watts balloon. One bird hash mark at a time. It climbed till that needle dance like it's caught in the grime.
Alright, guys. I'm trying to get a few people loaded up in here.
Pure, raw, and darker. So when you tired of lies, tired of peaks, call Danny 123 where real wattage speaks. Call it how it is. South Jersey's own Danny 123. Real builds, real power. No tweak or watts, just truth.
Alright, guys, let's start this process here. Let's see what's going on. So, hello to everybody that's joining me tonight. Thanks for stopping by, seeing what's cracking on my bench. Had a lot of things going on, but I haven't been doing too many quote-unquote new builds and other things I've been dealing with. But as far as that goes, this is a MooZilla. I actually put the right name on it this time. The last 8 I forgot. I put the Mowat sticker on, a badge on it. But anyway, I did a pre-post on Facebook where people could see what I had going on. What's going on, Adam? Big shout out to my man in Canada. So here's a little bit of a light up what's happening here. I posted a still picture or a few on Facebook, so if you guys really want to look at the details of things I did, quite a few people will take and save those photos or whatnot, look kind of how I do things. This is the way I do things. Is it right? Is it wrong? Don't really care. This is the way I like to do it. This is the way I like to present and see an amplifier. And it really turned out very, very, very nice. So, with that said, that's the show of the show and tell. Now let's tell. First thing is, everybody has the same opportunity to buy an amplifier from and whoever they'd like and spend your money. It's up to you who you choose in good and bad decisions. Sometimes guys will say, oh, I got this for a good deal. Guess what? That good deal probably wasn't that good. Probably bought someone's headache. So research the person that you're asking to build you an amp or you're buying an amp from. Understand what you're buying. Understand what you have and how to properly run it. And that's very important, how to properly run it. Now with that said, I'm going to get into velocity factor really quick about coax, just because some people just don't seem to grasp what's going on with that. And it causes its own share of problems. Meaning, if you have the wrong jumper between a two-piece system like this, I'm running a Texas Star into this as the driver. So if you have the wrong jumper between the boxes, it'll cause a reflection or a misbalance or an imbalance. And that's where squeals come in. That's when fans start slowing down. That's when all of those things happen. You're like, man, I key up my fans slow down. They should not. I key up my fans speed up. They probably shouldn't, but sometimes they do. Depends on how much RF presence that you have. You hear them sometimes here on the bench. They'll speed up a little bit because I get that microphone cord a little too close. I mean, I'm working over an open system. So, but when you put it in your vehicle or on your base station, it should not do that. Those fans should constantly just flow and go. And you shouldn't hear all the differences through them. You shouldn't hear your voice in those fans. And that brings up a whole nother subject, and I'm going to make it quick about the voice thing. If you had an amplifier and you're like, man, I'm talking and I hear the amplifier talking back to me, I literally can hear my voice in it, it's the gap that's on the transformer. So if the ferrite beads are fairly loose, and they should be able to spin them a little bit, all right, but if they were, when they were built, if they weren't pressed tightly, then what's happening is the cores are literally vibrating from the current getting through there, and that's what you're hearing as this noise. So that's what that noise is. Someone ever was curious about that. But going back to phase angle, it's very important to take and have either a 6 or a 12 or a quarter wave or a half wave coming out of your radio to your amplifier. Now, yeah, I always said 12. You guys always got to have a half wave. You have to have 12 coming from your radio to the amp. Well, sometimes you can get away with a 6. Now, where can you do that at? Probably not in a mobile, because you have a quarter wave antenna. You can probably do it more commonly on your base station. I've done it over here. I've done testing. I have my little antenna, my little base station set up. But you could take and try to run 6 out of the radio into the driver and see if it works, and maybe it'll help you. But commonly it is 12 or a half a wavelength. So on a base station, that says you have that little leeway right there, because you got a half wave antenna. But in a mobile, you have a quarter wave antenna, really, really finicky. So if you're running this stuff in a mobile, I probably would suggest for you to take and have a half wavelength coax of your choice at a half wavelength from your radio to your driver. Now from your driver, it's another half wavelength, 12 foot in layman's terms, of 213 going into this 8. Now that's a half wavelength. There's like, well, the amplifier sit right next to it. I put a 3 in line. It don't matter. It's not what you want to do, it's what the amplifier wants to see. So you have to feed it properly. Normally I'm pretty right when it comes down to phase angles on boxes, but not every system's the same. You can sometimes play between the boxes and say, I can put a 6 or I can put a 3. You can try it. Better be quick about it. Don't fall asleep on the mic and trying to figure out where your bird numbers are at. But you shouldn't be looking at your output. You should be looking at your output reflection, and you should be looking at your input reflection, because that's what's going to change. So if you did not know where to look, that's where to look for your changes. It's going to happen on your output reflection, and it's going to happen on your input reflection. Sometimes your output reflection will try to full scale or nail it. And you say audio impacts all the way up. Something's not lined up right. It could be at a radio, it could be your patch cord, it could be the wrong length, could be the wrong frequency. There's a lot of different things that could mess you up. So, with that said, let's run this thing, and we're going to run it at 14.8. Let's turn a few things on, and then we're going to turn it up about 1 volt with the bigger power supply down here, and we are lit like Jerry. All right, here we go. I'm going to run Texas Star. Let me toss the lid on this real quick. I'm going to run the Texas Star on the low side to begin with, and I'm going to give it a little lower drive, just in case you have the guys out there. They're still really trying hard to get these strikers to work with things, and they do seem to work okay with a single amplifier. What's going on, Mike Smith? So they work pretty good with a single amplifier, meaning nothing with an internal driver. So you're going to be a straight box, a 2, a 4, a 6, or an 8. There you go. So let's say, for example, you had a striker doing about 50 watts. And let's see our 50 watts somewhere here. Make sure everything's plugged in. Yes. All right. Low side, somewhere around 50 watts. This is a 250 watt slug, 25 watt slug input reflection. Then we're going to look at 2500 to 5000 on the analogs and 2500 5000 on the digital. So here we go. Let's see what we're at with just the drive real quick. All right, here we go. Audio. That's about 55 watts. That's that can be backed off just a bit. I'm going to give it about 50 watts. Audio. All right, right there at 50 watts. We're cool there. All right, let's turn it on. Now this unit has automatic sideband delay built in it. It does not affect your AM, and you don't have to look for or hit a switch to go to sideband if you run on sideband. All of the straight boxes have auto sideband. I do it just in case. I'm not trying to say, hey man, y'all got to give me another $50 for I can put a 50-cent switch in there with a wire and a capacitor. So I'm not trying to do that. There's no upcharge on it. This is how I build it, and this is what you got. There you go. Probably need a carrier. There we go. Got a little something. Alright, so let's look at my drive. Let's see if it ate up anything. Audio, 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 1, 2, 1, 2. It was a little light. I had to drive 50 dry. Audio, alright, we're gonna live with that. Input reflect, hanging out here, 14 point something, and 50 watts of drive. Input reflection, audio, 1, 2, 3, 4. A little under a watt and a half. And we're gonna take a look at the 2500 RMS analog, 2500 watt slug. Looking at the top scale, each line is 50 watts. Okay, there you go. 1, 2, 3, 4. I got 50 watts of drive, audio, audio, audio. So we're hanging out right around 600 watts. Now, if I'm at 600 watts, RMS with 50 driving it at 14.8 volts, which is right here, and this is Transistor amperage as well. Audio, 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 audio. 14.8, 91, 92 amps with the driver. Here's the 8 by itself. Audio, 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 audio. 86. There we go. So, if I'm only doing 600, so audio, 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 audio. So, yeah, right there at 600 watts RMS. Now, here's your peaker tweaker. I'll give you a little digital peaker tweaker real quick. Audio, digital, audio, peaker tweaker. Now, that's an impressive number. A lot of, there's some technicians out there, they solely sell their devices on that base number of peak. And peak is great. Great things can happen with peak, but when peak gets full, you ain't gonna get any more. You can keep driving your boxes, your RMS will increase until it don't. You'll exhaust it, you overheat it, you overdrive it, you blow it up. So, I'm only hitting this with 50 watts, and I'm showing 600 out of 8. Well, let's bring that power up. Let's see if we can double it. Don't know if we can or can't, but we're going to try. You have to back that down and turn that up. Get a carrier real quick. Something, please. Okay. Let's look at the input drive now. Audio, 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 audio. About 80 watts of drive. Input reflection, did it go up or down? Up or down, up or down, up or down, up or down. Oh, so right around 2, 1.5, 2. All right, here's 25 again. Audio, 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 audio. So now we're at 800, and we're at 80 watts of drive. Audio, 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 audio. You see a pattern there, anybody? All right. So here's your peak. All right, we were at 1900. Audio, audio, audio. Woo! Look at that. Wow. Ooh, I'm getting on down. Break up. All right. So that was just an imitation of an old friend. So that was 2050, 2020, somewhere in there, and that's your peak. So, y'all want to just take and pull your calculators out real quick? I know my guy in Canada will. Let's take a look at the amperage. Audio, 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 audio. So we're at 116, call it. Here's your voltage. Audio, 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 14A. And here's your peaker tweaker. Audio, 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 20, 50. All right? Hi, Molly. What's happening? You gonna say hello? You hanging out early? Sit. Hi, you gonna wave? Molly, you gonna wave? All right, so y'all pull your calculators out. I gave you a moment to take and add that up, and someone could type the efficiency number in there. Pretty doggone close, I think. So I'll do another one at the end. So that's with 80 watts of drive. I'm tracking at 800 RMS. Let's see what the RMS is on the digital. Audio, 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 audio. So 850, 900 there. Let's look at the 5000 analog. Audio, 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 audio. Yeah, 8, 900. So that's the RMS. Here's your peak. Here's your peak. Analog peak. Audio, audio, audio. That's 5000 watt slug. Audio, audio, audio. Show me 19 there. Let's see it there. Audio, audio, audio. Showing 2050. Let's look at the 5000 watt. No, that was 5000. Let's look at 2500 watt slug. Audio, 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 audio. Show me like 22. Either way, it's within reason. You have 2 meters, 2 different types, yada yada. But now that's at 14A, and there's only 80 watts of drive. You still have room to grow in this box. Now, is our peak actually going to grow anymore? Maybe, little, probably not. Maybe though. You cross your fingers if you're a peaker tweaker. But if I cut this off and go to the high side, my RMS, need to back that down, get a reasonable carrier. Okay, so here's my drive now. Alright, here's my drive, 250 watt slug, each line's 5 watts. Audio, 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 audio. So there's 130 watts of drive. Input reflection, audio, 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 audio. It's staying about the same, it's pretty stable. So, go back up here and look at 2500. Audio, 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 audio. So it's showing me right around 11. Let's look at the analog peaker tweaker. Did it increase? It was at 19 earlier. Audio, 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 audio. Not much, if any. You're cutting hairs in half right there. There's an analog RMS by 1,000. 100 watts a line. Audio, 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 audio. Something about 11, 12. So here is your RMS digital. Audio, 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 audio. Show me 1150. Let's see my slug. I'm on the 5,000 watt slug. 1150, 1200. Cool enough. All right, here's big. Peaker, tweaker, tweaker, tweaker. Didn't pick up much. Picked up 50 watts. So you are out of drive. You're out of voltage because your peak did not increase anymore. Your max, whoop, that's it. Don't want any more peak. Sure, you can make more RMS. Really in DX, it's really not going to make that much of a difference. But if you had a little bit, just a little bit more voltage, which I'm going to give it, we're going to see the increase in the peak again. Because why? I opened the back door. I opened up the voltage and feeding it more volts, so it's going to allow more drive or better drive to go through smoothly and clean. So let's unplug. Let's replug. And let's go to the next power supply. Alright. So now we're into the next power supply. We're going to look at this voltage here. Alright, so we're at 15.7. Here's a load on it. Audio, audio, audio. So agreed, we're at 15.5. Here's your amperage, full drive from Texas Star. We'll go back to that in a second. Audio, 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 audio. 138, 139 on the amperage. Input drive, we were hanging out around 130 before. Audio, 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 audio. Pretty much the same. It allowed about 5 watts to slide in there. Input reflection. Audio, 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 audio. It's a bit over a watt and a half, I think. Let me look at it again. Audio, 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 audio. Just a touch. So it's still in the same place. The inputs are totally stable and solid. But here's the number we're looking for, the peak. Did it increase because I increased my voltage approximately 7/8 of almost 7/8, 3/4, 7/8 of a volt. So almost 1 volt increase. Audio, audio, 23, audio, hello, 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm hitting 2,300 watt peak. Well, let's look on the other slug. Let's be fair. Let's look at 2,500. All right, audio, 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 audio. Boy, that's the one everybody would sell their shit on. But I ain't doing that. I'm looking at this one because this one here really lines up nicely with this one up here. Audio, audio, ain't no crazy ass numbers jumping up across these meters. Audio, audio. So as you do these tests, now that was it. That was your number, 23. So 2,300 at this voltage. All right, that's your goal number for your peak. That figure it out. Audio, audio, audio. 15.5 at this amperage. Audio, 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 audio. So we'll say 144. 144 amps. Times 15.5, and it says 2,232. Audio, 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 audio. All right, give or take, we're in the neighborhood, boys and girls. Audio, 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 pika, 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 pika. What do you think, guys? About 97 and 98% maybe efficient. Pretty cool. I'm liking that. So if you have a power supply, this is really too far out of bounds. I mean, you're 15 volts, 15.5 volts. But look at this. What drive am I putting into this? Audio, 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 135 watts. So now you take 135 watts and you divide that by 8. I'm only driving this box at 16.87 watts per transistor, meaning this thing is going to last a long time even if you're at an elevated voltage. Because why? You're not driving the dog crack out of it, and you're putting 200, 250 watts of drive. And of course, if you want your box to last and run, keep it under 150. You're good. Because anything after that, you're going to generate a lot of heat, and then you're going to generate a lot of problems. So that's just how it turns out, and that's what I'm preaching, guys. And I practice what I preach, and you guys should too. But the difference is, if I break something, I just come over and fix it. You guys have bigger problems. So there's your unit. It's all done up, ran beautiful. I'm really happy with how it turned out. So, cut this off. So last Saturday, went to the break over in Philly. Lady BA and their son threw down really good. Leadfoot and Heavy Chevy, and who else was involved out there? Helped run the field. Koki came out. It was nice to see Koki again. I haven't seen him in a bit, but I ended up winning an 8 transistor class, 22 volt class, and yeah, I put it down. I put it down really hard in my truck because I worked really hard on my truck, and I know what my equipment can handle, and I fared out really well on these larger classes. So the smaller classes, I could kind of give two shakes about it. Really, it's just something just to break the day and be involved and have a lot of fun, and that's what it's about. Some guys take this way too seriously. They stomp their feet, their bottom lip gets poked out, they call you this, they call you that. Any way you want to cut it is what it is. It's a break. So if you want to get into the shootouts, have some thick skin and have some integrity if you come into it. So in the meantime, I've been working with my bass, and no, I'm not running this full rack gear. I have it in line, but I'm only running a 5 transistor unit. The 16 is still capped off and fine, but I did run it. I tested it off into the little Starduster. I put about 1750 in it and I pulled it out. So I said one time that was it, and I didn't see nothing weird. It was happy. It wanted to run, but I didn't do that. I just turned around, did the test, and unplugged it. I just wanted to double check a few things, and pretty happy how that turned out. But in between time, I'm bouncing between my Applejack Cobra and my Army Strong direct injected. I have another one over here. I got a pink one that's direct injected, and that's that radio I was running it, and I'm just trying to learn and play with these this direct injection again. It's been a long time since I fiddled with it, so kind of got my my bench and my walls set up complete. So again, thanks again, Bad Attitude and Lady Bad Attitude, for hosting a nice weekend. At the end, we got a little pushback. The craziest thing, I'd never keyed with vehicles in front of me and beside me, other than my competitor, and normally they would be beside me and not in front of me. But at any rate, let's take a look at Molly and see what she's got to say. Hi, Molly, come here. What's happening? How are you? And you know what? I got a little something over here for you. Let's see. Come here, Molly. Look, Daddy got. Come here. You got to come over here. You're gonna earn that. All right. So you gonna sit? All right. Let me get this camera right. There's my Molly Moo. How are you, honey? How's things, Molly? How's things? How's everything? You know, you all right? You gonna wave? You say hi, Molly. You gonna say hi? That's my girl. You say hi to everybody. Now, you want to give a shout out? Who do you want to give a shout out to? You wanted to give your shout out to your little man Leo back in Chicago, right? Yeah. Little Leo got sick, didn't he? Yeah. And his daddy took care of him, and the vet took care of him, and so far Leo came home. He's back home, Molly. So, yep. So Six Packs, the dog, they got pretty sick. I don't know what happened, but it had something to do with the dog's blood, and so they took care of him. So Molly says, I'm glad Leo's all right. I can't wait to see him again, huh? How do you think? You say hi to Leo. Molly, come here. You gonna talk? You gonna say hi to Leo? Huh? Say hello. You say you miss, you get well? You say get well. Hey, get well. Get well, Leo. All right, good deal. Oh, you want to say hi to who? Who? You want to give a shout out to who? Who? Oh, Leadfoot's kitty. Yeah, what's his name? Mopsies? I can't understand that. What's the kitty's name? Huh? You don't know? All right, come on. Come here. Come on up here. Come here. All right. You sit. You go sit. So, how'd you do? This is your little amplifier on there, Molly. It says MooZilla on it. That is you. That's you, Molly. You are the MooZilla. Ready? You gonna sit? Come here, sit. Sit. Molly, look. Molly, look, sit. Ready? You gonna catch it? Here you go. Oh, you missed it. Man, normally she's like a freaking ninja, man. But anyhow, you know, guys, I take a lot of pride in how I build things, and I'm still gonna do that, and I'm getting ready to make some changes again. So stay tuned on my changes. I'm not gonna talk about it. I'm just gonna say I got a whole nother something coming up. So change is gonna occur really, really soon. So with that said, you guys got a whole lot of people up in Facebook. I got 21 people on Facebook that I can see on my screen and 14 people in YouTube. Thanks for watching. If you're not on my YouTube, find me, 123 Build Chicago, smash that subscribe button, and then get notifications. And every time I go live, you'll get a notification. But the Facebook platform is all this is being shared through Prism right now, and hopefully it will continue to allow me to do a dual platform. Otherwise, I'm gonna have to change platforms and have to fumble through it all over again. But in the meantime, again, this is a 8 transistor unit, 2879Cs with the newest 24 D08s in it. They didn't change anything, so there's no memos to give out. Everything seems to be right and tight and working very, 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 very well. So just keep in mind, just pull out a calculator and figure it out. If you guys have a bigger driver, let's say a 5 transistor unit, you could probably still use it to drive at 8. I would suggest to back it down, obviously. Figure out how much that thing will put out, and you keep it around 200. I wouldn't really go over 200 watts at 14.8 volts or 2 even. Just mind your drive. Keep the numbers under 20 watts per transistor. That's the golden number. That's the number of survival. Let's call it that. Because I tell you what, out in that shootout field, oh, we're shooting way past 20 watts of transistor. Believe me. But anyway, you got it. You guys can do with however you want to do it to whatever you want to do it to. If you do it to one of mine, hey man, told you so. Anyway, I'm out of here. Y'all take care. God bless. I'm rolling. I'm out. Peace.